Shakespeare is not meant to be read. Shakespeare is meant to be seen and heard by actors on a stage. It was not written for you to sit alone by yourself in the dark. It was written for you to maybe sit in the dark, but surrounded by humans with an actor speaking the text to you. First things first, I have a little PDF that you can use, a checklist that goes along with this video. If you would like to download your own copy of this checklist, you can click the link below and grab your own. And if you're a Luddite like me, you can get it on paper. So we've got 5 steps on how to quote-unquote read Shakespeare. So I'm going to talk through these steps, but I'm also going to walk through what it would be like for me to do these steps with you. So with that, let's start with number 1. So the first step is getting a gist of the characters and the plot. So for example, I know nothing about Troilus and Cressida. I'm going to be using it as an example for this video, and I have purposefully not done any research on it, so you're going to watch me experience this text for the first time. So Troilus and Cressida. Take time to just kind of write down your own notes, and the note that I would be giving myself is, all I know is that it's bloody. I know that people lose hands, I think some eyes get gouged out. I've just seen a lot of production photos with like hand nubs. That's all I know. I know it is one of the bloodiest plays, which is probably why I've never read it or watched it, because gore actually makes me nauseous. So this should be fun. So what I'm going to be doing is breaking out my laptop, opening up the interwebs, and just doing a quick search. This should take you 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. If you're going longer than 15 minutes, reel it in. You just need to know who's who. So I need to find out who Troilus is and who Cressida. Are they married? Are they brother and sister? I have no idea. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Oh wow. So I've done step 1. I know that it's set during the Trojan War. That's pretty significant. I know that there's the Trojan side and the Greek side. So we Greeks, we've got Agamemnon, Achilles, all those guys. And then on the Trojan side, that's where we have Troilus and Cressida. And Cressida is given over to the Greeks in exchange for another prisoner. That sucks. Okay, great. So I've done step 1, and it took me like 10 minutes. So now we're ready for step 2. Step 2, we're gonna watch a play.
Yay!
On a second page of the checklist, which I have linked below, I have a bunch of links for you to go and find plays that you can watch, you can rent. We're gonna have a little chat about where to watch Shakespeare and what Shakespeare to watch. We love high school performances of Midsummer. God bless them, wonderful, you're doing the thing. I do not want your first experience of a Shakespeare play to be by a high school performance. I want your first experience of a Shakespeare play to be by professional actors who are extraordinary with their text work. It makes a difference, all the difference in the world, and your understanding of the play will be 100 times higher than a non-professional production of any kind, whether it's something on YouTube or something your siblings in, whatever. I want your first experience of this play to be by professional actors. Why? I don't think I have to explain that. It should be by professional actors. And also, you'll kind of have a moment of, is this cheating? It feels like it's cheating because it's easier, and it's easier because you're experiencing the text as it's meant to be experienced. There is so much lost when you are reading the text versus actually watching it live in a theater. There are so many moments where Shakespeare addresses the audience directly. There's so much direct address in a Shakespeare play. And this is another difference. Most professional actors will know that and understand that, and a lot of unprofessional productions, not that they're bad, but that is sometimes lost. And the direct address isn't really addressed. A great example of this direct address is Ian McKellen in Macbeth, the film production. There's a point right in the beginning where he has his first soliloquy to the audience.
He laboured in his country's wrack, I know not, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him. Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains.
And when it happens,
he laboured in his country's wrack, I know not.
It is just, first of all, so hot, but also so shocking. Because all of a sudden, it's not just me watching Macbeth figure it out. All of a sudden, Macbeth is bringing me in and talking to me about whether he should kill the king. And it's a completely different experience. Step 3. You are going to take notes while you're watching. Now, don't panic. This isn't a book report. This isn't a really intense thing. I just want you to have a pen or paper ready so that while you are watching the play and you're taking in the text, you can just scribble down any passages that you like. So, for example, if I was watching Romeo and Juliet and I heard for the first time the Queen Mab speech by Mercutio, I would have my little pen and paper and just write down Queen Mab. We'll need this later for step 4, but what I'm really looking for is text that spoke to you. Something that was really beautiful, something that was really shocking, something that was really, really, really well done. Take notes on it, really quick notes, and then we'll go to step 4. So I am gonna sit down and watch Troilus and Cressida. I'm going to take some active notes, and I'll let you know what I love, I'll let you know what I hate, and hopefully I won't gag from all the gore. I'll see you after the play. This is cold. So, watched the play, and I really didn't know the plot of Troilus and Cressida. Really, I really didn't know it. You know how I was talking about it's the bloodiest play in the canon, there are hand dubs. I was talking about people's eyes get gouged out. I realized that I was thinking of a different play, also starts with a T, also written by William Shakespeare, called Titus Andronicus. Yeah. So that shows you how much I know about Titus Andronicus as well. I will say I got to about Act 5 and I was still very perplexed where the blood and gore was when it was gonna come. And I was like, well, geez, we're in Act 5. Is it gonna be just all at once? Like, what's gonna happen? I pressed pause on the production. I went and watched Troilus and Cressida from the RSC on digital theater. And if you need a link for digital theater, just grab that little PDF I have below. But I paused on that production and I went to Wikipedia to see what was I missing. And then I realized that I had been talking to you about the general sense of Titus Andronicus. So, hooray. I will say I followed my steps to a T, and I really only got a gist of the character and the plot. I really did only spend 5 minutes looking at the plot because I kept talking about how bloody it was. There is like a battle, there is fighting in it, but it is not what I had in mind, and not the production photos that I was thinking of. So, needless to say, I learned a lot. So we did step 1, get a gist of the characters and plot, check. We did step 2, watch and experience a Shakespeare play, check. We did actively listen and take notes, and I did take notes while I watched the production, check. So now we are on to step 4. We're going to take the notes that we were writing down during the production, and we're going to go back to the text and pull out the passages that we love. I will say I wasn't a huge fan of Troilus and Cressida, not my favorite play. I'm not going to go into detail on why I didn't like it, because that's not what this video is about, but I did find a scene and a particular passage that I did love. So I'm going to be looking at Act 3, where Troilus and Cressida first kind of have their first love scene, which is quite pretty. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to kind of mark up my text and note where sound repetition's happening. I'm going to look up words that I don't know, and I'm going to kind of generally take in the text. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, so looking at this text, this hard to scene 1 monologue, there's a lot of W sounds. One, was one, with, will, why, who, when, we. So if you saw, I was kind of circling all of those W sounds because they just keep happening over and over and over again in this passage from Cressida. And this is her not only saying, I love you, but she's also saying, I have loved you for a long time. Because she's answering the question, why was my Cressid then so hard to win? And she kind of talks about how she has had feelings for him for quite some time. So it's a jumbled mess of a monologue, and it's really, really sweet. But there's a lot of was sounds, so hard to seem one, I was one, my lord, with, see we fools, why have I blabbed, who, when we, I loved you well, I wooed you not, I wished myself a man, oh that we women. So there's a lot of whoa sounds, which I took note of, and kind of looking at that sound, it as the character, it's it kind of gives you this just stuttering feeling in your mouth, because you're just constantly using the sound wha, which always feels like who, what, when, where, why, like whoa, right? We kind of use that sound when we are trying to take in something, trying to put into words, but we are still very self-conscious. So it's really cool to see that W sound everywhere. I went through and scanned that one line, I love you now, but not till now so much. because I see that there are single syllable words. I love you now, but not till now so much. Whenever we see these single syllable words, that is clearly a line in the text where the character is trying to lay it out for the other character or for the audience. So I made a note of that line and all those single syllables. And then a fascinating thing happens right at the end. There's a lot of E sounds all of a sudden. Sweet bid me, surely speak, see, my weakness. So there's kind of an emergence of the sound of E, we, which can be a very vulnerable sound, right? See. So that's fascinating to see those sounds happening towards the end of the monologue, because you kind of see her opening up, right? And then she asks him, "Stop my mouth," right? And then they kiss. Step 5. We're gonna read the play. Yay! So you have a few options for step 5. Option 1 is reading the text aloud by yourself. Again, I really want you to participate in the text and lean in, and also hearing it out loud is always so helpful. So option 1, you can read the text aloud by yourself. Option 2, which is my favorite, read the text aloud with friends. So get a group together, if you have classmates, if you have friends, get some pizza, and sit and read the text aloud together. Act out all the death scenes, go hog wild, right? Have a blast. If if option 1 or option 2 sound absolutely terrible for you, that's fine. That's okay. Option 3, you're going to read the text along with the production you just watched. So what I did was I pulled up that RSC production that I had watched, and I had my text with me. Now make sure that you have some sticky notes here. Make sure you have some sticky notes. I used these little guys. Make sure you have some sticky notes and a pencil. If you don't want to use pencil on your books, have more sticky notes. And when you have those things, then you can sit and listen to the play as you read it. Why do you need sticky notes and pencils? Right. Every production of Shakespeare that you see is cut. There is not a single production, there probably is. Let's not do always here. Most professional productions have taken the text and cut it in some way or amended it in some way. So why do we do this? If we took the full text of Hamlet and performed it in its entirety, it would take 4 hours. We could do that, but we're not going to, right? Most professional productions aren't going to do that. So they're going to kind of cut and edit and try to smush that into a 2 to 3 hour play. A good production hits around 2.5. When you hit 3 hours, it's a little too long. So we need sticky notes and we need a pencil, because while you're listening to the production again, you need to take note of where the cuts are. Now, it's a little annoying because there are times where even a line is cut out or a word is flipped. So for example, the production I watched, Ulysses was actually played by a woman, somebody who identified as a woman. So a lot of the pronouns were switched. So instead of, I don't know what the word was, but they switched out wench for a lot of the words that addressed Ulysses. So you'll notice that, right? And you can kind of take note of it. What's helpful if you do it this way is to listen to a scene, kind of mark where there are cuts, and if there's like a lot of cuts and it's overwhelming, just pause and read through what has been cut up. There are other scenes that won't be really touched at all. And then there are some that are just, they are diced up. They are chopped up. So, and I, yeah. So for example here, I didn't really make really intense notes. I just would go back and listen to it again. But I just put little sticky notes where there were pretty big cuts that I needed to stop listening to it and go and read and see what was cut and why it was cut. Okay? Once you have finished that, you have read a Shakespeare play. Congratulations. I hope these steps and this video have given you a little bit more confidence to approach the bard and maybe come to love him just as much as I do. If you've enjoyed this video, please give the kitten in the corner some scritches and subscribe. I upload on Thursdays and we nerd out about Shakespeare. See you soon.